All right, let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where the governor of the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir has cleared some air on the prevailing security situation in the state. Now, Governor Satyapal Malik has urged people not to panic and also not to pay heed to any rumours that are doing the rounds on social media. This after tourists and Amarnath pilgrims have been advised on the basis of an advisory by the government to leave the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir at the earliest due to some security concerns. So what exactly is playing out in the state? Let's try and break this down for you. And also, let's also reiterate to our viewers that WION World is One only reports facts. Now, there's no question of speculation at this point of time, and what we are now going to tell you is entirely fact-based. Now, in a meeting, Satyapal Malik has asked the political parties not to stoke unnecessary fear amongst the people, and this advisory also goes to the media as well, not to stoke any kind of speculation over what is happening in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Satyapal Malik has said that the entire state machinery has been geared up to take control of the internal security of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. This after the state government issued an advisory on security. It said that Amarnath Yatra is in fact being curtailed owing to intelligence inputs on terror threats. Now, airlines across India have waived off cancellation and rescheduling fee for all flights to and from Srinagar till the 15th of August. Now, India's civil aviation body has also directed the Indian aeroplanes to be prepared to operate extra flights to and from Srinagar. This after the Indian forces had foiled a Pakistani terror plot in the Kashmir Valley. Remember, on Friday, that is yesterday, a joint press conference by the Indian Army and also by the Jammu and Kashmir Police had said that an arms cache, including IEDs, was recovered en route to Amarnath. Now, the Army has said that landmine had marks of Pakistan Ordnance Factory and that Islamabad has been trying to disrupt peace in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the Army has assured the people of Jammu and Kashmir that peace will prevail pretty much at any cost. Meanwhile, the United States and the Taliban are all set to resume talks on Afghanistan today. The U.S. Special Representative Zalmay Khalilzad has arrived in Doha for what is essentially the 8th round of talks aimed at restoring peace in Afghanistan. Now, ahead of talks, Zalmay Khalilzad has tweeted saying that the two parties were pursuing a peace agreement and not necessarily a withdrawal agreement. He's also made it clear that the U.S.'s presence in and the withdrawal from Afghanistan are both conditional. The U.S. President Donald Trump has flagged progress in the peace talks with the Taliban. He said that the two parties have made a lot of progress but are still in talks. However, Trump has also said that the U.S. could win over Afghanistan, could win the war militarily in Afghanistan in a span of just 2 to 3 days' time. But he also reiterated that he was not looking to kill about 10 million people. Listen in to what the U.S. President said.
With respect to Afghanistan, we've made a lot of progress. We're talking, but we've also made a lot of progress. We're reducing it. We've been there for 19 years. We're really serving as policemen. We could win Afghanistan in 2 days or 3 days or 4 days if we wanted, but I'm not looking to kill 10 million people.
Now, the question, of course, is why are these peace talks so important to the United States or, for that matter, to President Trump? Now, President Donald Trump has promised to pull out American troops from Afghanistan, and that would end America's nearly 18-year involvement in the battered country. For this, they need peace in Afghanistan, where the Taliban has been a major stakeholder in terms of power. And Washington, believe it or not, is looking to sign a deal with the Taliban that they ousted back in 2001. And they are trying to do this by the 1st of September. Now, according to reports, the United States could propose a reduction in the number of troops that are presently stationed in Afghanistan to the Taliban during the talks. But in return, the United States, interestingly, will ask the Taliban to dissociate itself from the Al-Qaeda and also any kind of violence. This is a bizarre request that the U.S. wants to make to Taliban in terms of these negotiations. Now, WION has learned that the proposal is to reduce troops, U.S. troops, by about 8,000 to 9,000. The remaining troops, however, will be pulled out gradually. The U.S. currently has an estimated 14,000 personnel in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, there are also widespread concerns amongst the Afghans. They fear that the U.S.'s rush to pull out could see the Taliban return with some semblance of power. The Taliban had recently signed on a vague pledge to reduce civilian casualties, but the violence, however, has continued unabated irrespectively.